Welcome everyone. You are here with Bright Lights and our Diggin Up Dinos Flipside camp. My name is Renee and I'm the education coordinator for Bright Lights. I'll be serving as one of your hosts, and my friends Miss Lori and Miss Lindsay will also be helping with hosting and chat duties. I want to cover just a few things before we get started, and then I will turn this over to Mr. Dils so we can start having some fun with dinosaurs. Because we are in a webinar format, we can't see your picture or hear you. However, if you want to ask questions or respond to something Mr. Dill says, just use the chat feature at the bottom of your screen. Type in your question or your comment, and Miss Lindsay and Miss Lori will see it and can ask Mr. Dills or make sure that he gets that question or comment. I also want to let you know that we're recording the session, and we will have a link in a few days on our YouTube channel to this camp so you can watch it again, plus other camps that we have had in the past. So you can watch it again in August, or you can invite a new person to watch it. I'd also like to thank Black Hills Energy for supporting Bright Lights and sponsoring our Flipside camps this summer. And with that, I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Dills and find out what we are learning today. Good morning, Mr. Dills.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Just like Monday and just like Tuesday, we have a full day of dinosaur fun. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. We are going to start off our day learning about 3 different words that's going to help us with our dino knowledge. All right, so the first word we have is predator. Predator is kind of a ferocious sounding word because a predator is that animal that is ferocious. It tends to hunt down other animals to get its food. Some predators you guys might know are things like tigers or lions or bears. They tend to be more of that aggressive predator. They're going to hunt down another animal for food. So in the dinosaur world, we had things like predators. And just like predators, we also have prey. And prey it's going to be the animals that become lunch. So if a lion, which is our predator, is chasing prey, which might be a gazelle or maybe a giraffe, that would be prey. And oftentimes prey are grass eating or herbivores, and the predators are going to be that carnivore, the meat eating dinosaurs. Okay. And then this next word is a pretty big word, but we have, it's called oviparous. Oviparous. And oviparous means if they lay eggs. So if an animal lays some sort of an egg, so like a lizard or a bird, it's an oviparous. Dinosaurs were oviparous type animals because they would lay eggs.
Mr. Dills, I have to say, I've never heard that word, and I want to practice it here. Oviparous.
Oviparous. It means it lays eggs. Oviparous. It's kind of like a high school level word, really, oviparous.
It's fun to say, though.
It is. It is. We are going to head to, now that we know our 3 words, we're going to head to our dinosaur dig. And I wonder if we're going to have a predator or a prey we're going to dig up here. So,
great. We have some of our friends on the chat today have been curious about what our dinosaur of the day is. So we have to wait till we learned our 3 new words, oviparous, prey, and predator. And now we're ready to learn about our dinosaur of the day.
All right. So we have our dino dig here. Our dinosaur, if you've tuned in on Monday and Tuesday, you know it's somewhere in here. We don't know where though, but because we are paleontologists, scientists that study dinos, we have really good skills in order to dig up a dinosaur. Just like always, if you know or have a guess that you would like to guess what dinosaur might be in our dinosaur dig, feel free to put it in chat and we'll see if your guess is right. So we're going to jump right in here. Now remember, when paleontologists do digging, they tend to use some sort of brush if it's loose like this. If they can't, so like this is really loose sand, but if they can't break through it, they might use a pickaxe or some sort of bigger tool like a hammer in order to break through that tough rock. So, oh, I don't know. I see a little claw here, maybe.
Oh.
I know it's right here, so we're going to keep on digging. Yesterday, we learned on a fossil and bones, and we talked about on Monday the different diets of a dinosaur. So I'm also curious on whether or not this dinosaur is an herbivore or a carnivore. We have a velociraptor. Ooh, that could be a good guess. I like the talon there. T-Rex. Ooh, that's a pretty good guess here. It has a pretty big tail to balance the head if it is. Addison thinks it's a carnivore. You know what, Addison? I might think you might be right because look at those claws. Oh, we got a lot of T-Rex guesses here. We're almost getting there. What's going to be able to tell if it has a big head? Oh, it does look like it has a pretty big head. Oh, look at those teeth. Wow. Those teeth tell me it's going to be a carnivore. It would be a predator if it is a carnivore. All right, so we're going to take it out here. We're going to take a better look at it here. Oh, so let's see. We have the sharp teeth. We have the sharp claws or talons, and then the sharp feet down there. It must have walked like this with those short little arms. I bet you that tail probably counterweighted or helped it balance because look at that big head. This dinosaur has quite the big head. So as I transfer back to our main area and we look at the dino slides, go ahead and put your guess on what you think this dinosaur might be. I've seen some T-Rexes, some velociraptors, and we'll see who is right.
Mr. Dils, while you head back over to the other room, I have to say the little arms on that dinosaur are so funny to me, and I just wonder what they'd be used for. So they almost seem useless because they're so tiny.
Yeah, so it does have pretty small arms. We'll give a better look here. Those small arms, and I don't know if they would have used them that much. So I think you are right when it comes to kind of being useless. Maybe it might be able to scratch its little belly with it, but that would be about it. I don't know what else would be able to use those claws for. But let's look at our dinosaur slide here, and it's going to help us figure out what this dinosaur is. So I'm going to share my screen here. All right, so this is day 3 of dinosaur discovery. And if you guessed Tyrannosaurus Rex or T-Rex, you would be 100% correct. This dinosaur is a T-Rex. A common name or nickname is called King of the Dinosaurs. They called it King of the Dinosaurs because of how aggressive and just kind of scary the T-Rex was. Now, when we talk about the size of a T-Rex, they're about 40 feet long. So if you can see on that picture, that's about a 6-foot human being. So T-Rex is about 20 foot tall and 40 foot long. To give you kind of a reference on what 20 foot kind of looks like, 20 foot is really only the size of a full-size giraffe. So a T-Rex was pretty big, but in the grand scheme of things, when we look at like a Brachiosaurus, it wasn't super tall. What made the difference was those really strong teeth and that jaw. That jaw, once it locked down, paleontologists believe it did not open back up. Once a T-Rex got you, you were probably done. And we talked about these little arms, and the arms didn't do much. They kind of just were there. It might have been helpful in a fight. But what's unique about the T-Rex is this big, strong tail with these big, strong legs helped it balance. So when it was running after its prey, because a T-Rex would have been a predator, this tail helped it balance when it was running through the jungle or trees, wherever it was trying to chase its prey. If you haven't guessed already, the T-Rex is in fact a meat eater. It loved meats. So it would be a carnivore. Remember, carnivore, you're gonna show your teeth. The T-Rex was definitely a fan of meat.
Mr. Dils?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, can they run fast? They seem like they have very strong legs.
You know, they could run a decent speeds. They couldn't run as fast as like a velociraptor, which is going to be a smaller dinosaur. But it could run decently fast, fast enough to catch some of its prey. But the T-Rex had to be kind of smart, and that might have been a challenge because a fun fact about the T-Rex is the size of its brain was only the size of a walnut. So it was super small. Wow. So the T-Rex might have been super scary and ferocious, but it wasn't that smart of a dinosaur. So it kind of had to think about what it was going to do in order to catch its prey. So as we go back, we can take a quick look of the dinosaurs we've learned so far. So we've learned about the Stegosaurus, and that's the guy with the fin type things on the back. And this is the dinosaur that paleontologists thought had a brain in its butt, which turns out that's not true. But it used its tail to defend itself. We've talked about the Brachiosaurus. The Brachiosaurus is that long-necked dinosaur. It was a grass eater, and we learned that in order to help the Brachiosaurus digest some food, it would eat boulders or bigger rocks to help digest the food because it would eat so much. And then just today, we learned about the king of dinosaurs, which is the Tyrannosaurus Rex. And this was a meat-eating dinosaur with those ferocious-looking teeth, with the strong jaw, and a tail to help it balance. I don't know about you, Miss Lori, but I'd be kind of scared if we had T-Rexes walking around today.
They are the scariest looking to me. They frighten me. And part of it is he sure can open his mouth wide, get a couple people in there at a time.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he could fit a couple of Mr. Dils in his mouth just in one bite. Yeah. All right, so now that we have our daily dino, we are going to transition back to our paleontologist lab because we're going to talk about a book that's going to really talk about different types of dinosaurs, and they're going to help all of us remember the name and how to pronounce it, which we talked about yesterday is a really hard part in paleontology. All right, so I'll see you at the paleontology lab.
Great, Mr. Dils heading over. I have to say, I'm glad that T-Rex is a shortened name because I sometimes struggle with remembering how to pronounce dinosaur names. So I'll be excited for this book.
All right, so some of you may have read the book. I like it. It kind of, if you read it right, it kind of sounds like a song. So maybe Mr. Dils will have to break out in a song. I don't know here. But it says, oh, say, can you say dinosaur? All about dinosaurs. So maybe you've read this book. Maybe you haven't. But we're going to take a look at some of the dinosaurs. Oh, say, can you say dinosaur by Bonnie Worth. I'm the cat in the hat. You have met me before. Today I will speak of the great dinosaur. Dinosaurs lived on the earth long ago, before you and me. So how do we know? Ooh, that's a good question. How do we know they lived? From fossils, dinosaur teeth, eggs, and bone got stuck in the muck. Then that muck turned to stone. These fossils are old, they are dusty and worn because they were made long before you were born. Oh, look at that trail of dinosaur bones and eggs, maybe. Not hundreds of years, not thousands of years, but millions of years, long before you were born. Dinosaur hunters dig in the ground. All over the earth, these fossils were found. The hunters use tools to chip all day. The fossils come loose, then they pack them away. Oh, they have their hats on, their paleontologist pluff helmet hats. Fossils can crumble because they are old, so dinosaur hunters must first make a mold. So what they would do is once they dig up a dinosaur bone, they don't necessarily just wrap it up and ship it. They make a mold in order to make sure it's as safe as possible.
Mr. Dils, they do that out at the dig site?
Yeah, so they bring all these supplies, and the dig site is actually a really big, complex in area. And if you ever go to Morrill Hall in Lincoln, they have a kind of a setup of what a paleontologist outdoor dig site would look like. And they have things like this, and they would use like glue and toilet paper is what they would use to make that mold. To the dinosaur labs, every bone, tooth, and bit is carefully shipped to see how they fit. Is this a leg bone? Maybe a muzzle? It's a crazy mixed up dinosaur puzzle. So yesterday we talked about how, when you put a dinosaur together, it's like a puzzle because we have no idea. There's no instructions. There's no directions that tell us where a bone fits. So we as scientists have to figure that out or take a best guess. Step up and enter the museum hall where dinosaurs stand. Some are big, some are small. Here we will play the best of all games. Oh, say, can you say the dinosaurs' names? Oh, they're going to a museum. This might be when it tests Mr. Dils' knowledge. Oh, not yet. Next page, probably. After you've said them, you then get to see them in the Cat in the Hat Super Dino Museum. Dinosaur names are not easy to read, but give it a try. I will help if you need. Take care of your father, sweet Sally, dear Dick. These long words can make even grown-ups feel sick. All right, we're going to talk about some really big words here. All right, so we're talking about this dinosaur right here. Oh, say, can you say Ankylosaurus? With a club for a tail and a back full of spikes, this dinosaur was strong, like an army tank. Yikes. So this dinosaur we pronounce Ankylosaurus. Ankylosaurus. You can practice at home. Ankylosaurus. So an Ankylosaurus had the spikes on the back, had a what looks like 3 big bowling balls on the back here that wave around. And I'm sure if a T-Rex tried eating that Ankylosaurus, it would not feel very good after. I don't know how it would feel to get 3 bowling balls hit in the face. Kind of painful. Now can you say, Maiasaura? There's one thing we know that the dino did best. She kept her kids cozy and safe in their nest. She kept the nest tidy. She got her kids food. She was a good mother to her dino brood. All right, so we're going to try and pronounce this one. Maiasaura. Maiasaura. Maiasaura.
Maya Sara. I like that one because I'm a mom, so I kind of like mom dinosaurs.
Yeah, look at it, taking care of its little babies. Oh, it's a good mom. All right, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now say Tyrannosaurus Rex. You said that quite nicely. Now you'd better go. T-Rex is no kitten. I think you should know. This is our dinosaur that we learned about today. Tyrannosaurus Rex. It also goes by T-Rex because Tyrannosaurus is kind of a long name. This T-Rex was strong with long teeth sharp as knives. When most dinos saw him, they ran for their lives. T-Rex was a hunter. He hunted for meat. Other dinosaurs were his idea of a treat. Carnivore is a name that we give to dinos like this who ate meat to live. And we already knew that. Boom, carnivore, a meat-eating dinosaur. Oh, can you say Triceratops? This dinosaur's head had 3 horns upon it, sticking up out of a hard sort of bonnet. But though he was smaller and not half as fierce, his head was too hard for a T-Rex teeth to pierce. So after a few dozen snaps at his face, T-Rex looked for dinner in some other place. So this, we say Triceratops. Triceratops. Fun fact, tri means 3, and they gave it that name because it had 3 horns. Triceratops.
Mr. Dils, can I ask a question about the Triceratops?
Yes.
So I see the horns and the beak-like mouth, and then it has a crazy circle around its head. What is that for?
So paleontologists still don't really know what this was for all the time, but the best guess is it was for some sort of defense mechanism. So we talked about how the head of the Triceratops is really hard to defend itself. So this little circle around its head kind of helped cover up its neck, which would be more of a soft spot if a Triceratops were to get attacked in the neck, it may not survive. But this fin or this circle around its head kind of helps defend itself. That's what paleontologists think right now. Now that could change in a couple of years if they find more facts and fossils from a Triceratops. But good question, Miss Lori. Oh, can you say Apachosaurus? I've gotten this rather tall ladder here for us to see eye to eye. With Apachosaurus, these dinos' long necks reached up high into trees where they fed on green leaves just as much as they'd please. So to say this one, you say Apachosaurus. Apachosaurus. And Apachosaurus is kind of is related to the Brachiosaurus. So they are the long-necked dinosaurs. Herbivore is the name that we give to dinos like these who ate plants to live. And we already knew that because we have been talking about dinosaurs all week. Here we go. Can you say Brachiosaurus? This dino was taller than 51 feet. And just how much food do you think he could eat? Nearly as much as a truckload of hay is what he would gobble day after day. That's how he grew to his size, as you can see. The cat in the hat just comes up to his knee. He's nowhere as smart as you and me. His brain is the size of a small zucchini. So the Brachiosaurus, so we say that name Brachiosaurus, had a long neck, was super big, but his brain was the size of a zucchini. So he was not that smart either. But he ate lots of hay. Truckload a day, that is a lot of hay to be eating. Oh, say, can you say iguanodon? What he did with his thumb, we think that we know. We think that he used it to jab at his foe. So this is an iguanodon. An iguanodon had these like weird, sharp thumbs, oddly enough, and they think that he used that to kind of like jab any dinosaur that was trying to attack him. Kind of like he was just carrying on a knife, and you just use that to defend himself. Kind of a weird feature to have as an iguanodon. Now say Deinonychus. Deinonychus. Terrible claw is what its names mean. We think that this dinosaur hunted in teams. So we say this Deinonychus. Deinonychus. And they were these little tiny little dinosaurs. And they think they hunted as a team. So they went out and attacked its prey as a team. Can you say Archaeopteryx? Archaeopteryx? This fine feathered friend is the earliest known. This bird might have glided, this bird might have flown. One thing we must ask, and we must be quite firm, if this bird was so early, did he catch the worm? It's getting late now. I see night is falling. The museum is closing. Your mother is calling. Before you head home, dear Sally and Dick, I have a surprise that is really quite slick. This dino's the earliest cat that is known. No one has seen it. It's never been shown. It's super terrific. It stands here before us. Oh, say, can you say? Ooh, what's it gonna be? What dinosaur is it gonna be? Cat in the Hat-osaurus.
Oh.
Oh my goodness, look at that Cat in the Hat-osaurus. The end.
Mr. Dils, something I really liked about that book is how you sounded out the words, because sometimes when you look at a long word like that, you think, where do I start? What do I do?
You're right, and it's probably, like I said, it is a hard part in paleontology to remember all of those names, and even grown-ups still today struggle with those words because they're kind of just fun, crazy words. But sounding it out and taking it slow helps you remember those dinosaur names. We're going to switch to a craft. We'll stay right here at the paleontologist lab, but we're going to look at a craft that we can do. The first craft we are going to do is we will make a hatching dinosaur. Okay? Because we know that dinosaurs laid eggs in order to reproduce or have babies. That's where their babies came from, is eggs. So on the Bright Lights webpage, there's going to be a printout that looks like this, or it might have some other dinosaurs. I think there's a baby T-Rex. This is a Spinosaurus, or you might have printed off the Triceratops, or maybe you printed off all of them. Who knows? But I'm going to walk you through on how to do the egg. You can do it live with me. You do not have to. I can just show you the ropes, and then later today you can do it with, and you can ask a parent or grandma or grandpa, whoever, some sort of adult, for help. So I went ahead and I cut out some pieces that I'll need. So I cut out the egg, and then I went and cut out the dinosaur. This dinosaur is a T-Rex, a baby T-Rex. So I'm also going to cut out the egg here, but I wanted to make sure you understood when the egg that has a crack in it, how to cut that one out. So I'm first going to just start by cutting along the line here, cutting out that oval shape
I'm cutting with you, Mr. Dills. So I'm cutting on that black line around the egg with the crack. And so then there's another egg?
Yes, there should be another egg on your sheet.
Oh, I just saw it.
And so you'll also cut out that one. So one should
Okay.
have a crack and one shouldn't have a crack. So cut
Got
out
it.
both those eggs.
I have to say that little dinosaur is cute.
They are some cute dinosaurs. I wouldn't mind having cute dinosaurs like that walking around. But the moment they turn ferocious and mean, I don't know if I'd want them anymore. They might try and eat me.
Right. I try to avoid friends that will eat me.
So once you cut out the egg that has a crack in it, this is the unique thing about the cracked egg, is you do cut along the crack that you see.
Okay.
So you follow that black line again. So it's okay to cut the cracked egg.
And I cut it all the way across into 2 pieces.
Yep. Yep.
Oh.
You should do 2 pieces when you are done.
Got it.
So I should have a cracked egg, that's 2 pieces now, a whole egg, and then whatever dinosaur I chose to use. Then what you'll need is you will need a popsicle stick, just one, and something to either glue or tape it down. I'm going to use glue, but you can use a glue stick. You could use Elmer's glue like I have. Even tape would work. It kind of just depends what you have available and what you would like to use. So the first step is we're going to go ahead and glue down our dinosaur. And here's what this looks like, because your finished product will look something like this, where you can move up and down. The dinosaur can just pop up as a surprise whenever you want. Boop.
Like he's hatching.
Like he's hatching. Woo! But you can also take him out of his egg. So we're going to talk about how to do this first before we do the egg. So with your popsicle stick, you want to put, just if you're using glue, just a couple dabs of glue. Maybe just 3 little dots. And then you want to put them on your popsicle stick more towards the top. So you can see.
Okay. Yeah.
It's more towards the top of the popsicle stick. Okay. So once you have your dinosaur glued on your popsicle stick, he can now walk around, do a little jig, he can dance. But now we're going to take the top half of your egg. So I know it's the top half because it should be the smaller side.
Yes.
Should be the smaller pointed side, okay? So I'm going to just put a few dabbles of glue on the top of my dinosaur. If you're using tape, you can also just put some tape there.
Yep, I'm using tape and it's working fine. It looks
And
like Bella when you put it on there.
Yeah, we're gonna put it as if he's kind of wearing a hat. Okay. So now you're going to put it on top there, kind of like he's wearing the hat or an umbrella. Okay, so we're going to put him aside now that we've done the popsicle stick.
Oh.
All right, and then here comes the part that is important to watch first and then do it, okay? So what we want is we want to have a little opening. So this is the one I finished. So see how there's a little opening? It's only glued on the sides. So you can, if you only have glue, what you want to do is just glue on the right side, maybe put 2 little dots on like the right side, and then 2 little dots of glue on the left side.
So
if you're using
glue on the big egg, and then you're going to be gluing the bottom of the cracked egg on?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're going to put glue on the big egg. And then if you're using like tape, you can also put tape here and one side here and one over there. If you're using a stapler, which also works, you could just staple the sides together.
Well, I have a stapler right here. I'm going to try that.
Perfect. So whatever you're using, if you're using glue, you're just going to set it down on the sides there.
Oh, stapler works great.
If you're using that stapler, you could just staple one side here and one side over here. Because then what happens, either way, because we didn't put glue in the middle, when we go to open it up here, then the bottom is open. Okay, so you should have kind of like a tunnel where you can see through your egg, and the sides, though, are attached. Once you have your egg ready, that's when your dinosaur can slip just right in. Remember, you want to go from the bottom. You want to start at the top here and slide it down, because we can't go this way without ruining the egg. So we got to go this way. Then if you slide that dinosaur down, it creates that egg. And now he's ready to pop up whenever you want him to pop up. Maybe you want to like surprise your friends, be like, I have a dinosaur in this egg. What dinosaur do you think it is? Boom, it's a T-Rex. Okay. So that is the one craft that we can do to simulate that egg hatching. I've seen if there's any questions in chat.
No, but I have to admit something. I can't remember the third word you taught us today about that they lay eggs.
Oh, the oviparous.
Oviparous. Okay.
Oviparous. So we just made oviparous puppets. They're hatching out of their egg. And what's nice is you can go back, and if you want a whole family of dinosaurs, you certainly could. You could have just a family of eggs now, waiting to be hatched. All right, so we are going to head back to the main room and watch a little video that's going to explain how dinosaurs defended themselves.
Awesome. I'm going to practice my word again. Oviparous. Oviparous.
Okay, so we are going to watch a little video here. So you can share my screen. All right, so this video is going to jump in with a T-Rex, and it's going to kind of explain the T-Rex is trying to hunt for some food. So we're gonna see if he can manage to do that.
You can't run away from me! Huh? Where did they go? Huh? What's wrong with my eyes? What's happening? Okay, here I come!
Huh? Do you think you can catch us just like that? Catch me if you can.
Where did they disappear? I am almost out of breath.
I am here.
You guys are so fast. Fine, I give up. I am not going to get you. I just wasted my energy. Huh? Oh, yes! It's pretty big. If I catch that, I won't need to hunt for a few days. Hello there. Good to see you. I am too slow to run. Then, ah! His head is pretty huge. It is too big. I am starving and have no energy left. I am not that hungry today, so I will eat you next time. It's your lucky day. Huh. It is so hard to hunt these days. Whew. Good. It's a little guy. Good to see you. Hello, my lunch. Here I come.
Oh, it's a Tarbosaurus. What do I have to lose? Take this.
Ah!
Oh!
Ouch! 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 Oh, my. I feel dizzy.
This is my chance. I'd better run now.
Huh? Where did she go? Huh. What an unlucky day.
Yikes! When did he come here?
Aha! I didn't know you were there. Notosaurus, wait for me!
Oh, no! Oh, no! Okay, fine.
Where did it go? It was right here. He didn't seem fast.
Oh, no!
I found you! I am going to gulp you up. Huh? What is this? Ah! I can't bite him.
Herbivore dinosaurs were pretty good at protecting themselves. He must have been really annoyed because he can't catch them, even if he is way bigger. Right, Ethan? Yeah. Carnivorous dinosaurs had their own challenges. That's right.
Huh?
David, let's find Tyrius and get back home.
Where are you going back?
Ethan?
I can catch two at once.
Run! Ah! Oh no! Ah! Save me!
Stop!
Tyrius, help me!
Ethan, David, come over here.
All right. So what that video was able to do was showed us how how other dinosaurs protected themselves. We had the one dinosaur that was just too fast, so he might not have had really sharp claws or a bunch of armor he wore, but he ran super fast, so therefore it didn't even matter. The T-Rex couldn't get him. You had the Ankylosaurus, who had the really long, oh, I have one right here. You have the little ball on the tail that would hit the T-Rex. That's what it used to defend itself. And then you had that one dinosaur that kind of reminded me of a turtle, but it had that shell on its back that the T-Rex couldn't bite through. So dinosaurs had different ways to defend itself, even though that T-Rex teeth were just a bit too sharp. We're going to go back to the paleontologist lab, and I'll show you briefly how to make a dinosaur tail. This is something that you can also find on the Google, the virtual classroom, that I'll also point out, because we're going to go over it quickly so you can get an idea, because it's going to take a little bit of time. But I want to give you an idea on how to make spikes on your tail, so if you wanted to do that. So, Miss Lori, if you'll take us back to the paleontologist lab.
Great. And as you head there, I was just thinking about that great virtual classroom that you created, and I hope our friends have all had a chance to visit it. I had great fun looking around in there yesterday, so you can find the link to that at brightlights.org.
Yeah, so, and it's going to teach you a bit more on how to do this dinosaur tail in more detail. But I just want to give you kind of the basics here. For this, you'll need not dinosaur strips. I've been teaching dinosaurs too much. You'll need just some sort of construction paper, and then a stapler tends to work best when you are doing your dinosaur tail. So when you go, I'll grab my stapler here. So this is a dinosaur tail. What it will end up looking like, or could look like, is something like this, where you put this on your head, and then you have the tail that comes behind you as you lay it down on your back, okay? So to make the head piece, you just want to cut some construction paper in about roughly an inch, inch and a half, just depending. It could be thicker, it could be thinner. But I have found an inch and a half usually works best. And what you'll want to do is you'll just, with your strips, staple them together. And we'll make a small one, probably big enough to fit my dog's head. And what you'll do is you'll just make that circle, okay? You want to loop it around, make a big old circle. So it kind of looks like that. We staple it on both ends, okay? So this is the part that you'd put on your head to wear as like a kind of a crown. What we need though is we need something that goes from here over to the other side, because it's going to connect our tail. So using the strips that you cut, you would just connect one end. Once again, your stapler is going to be a really handy tool. One end to the other. Okay. So then you have a kind of a crown with this going back. Pick one of the sides that you want to be your front. Do you want this to be your front or this to be your front? It doesn't matter. It just can't be like this, because your tail starts up here. Okay. You got to pick one of the sides here. So we'll go with this side. So what I will do then is I will just keep on attaching the construction paper. And once again, I know I'm kind of going a bit fast, but I'll show you where to get the instructions and the directions on the virtual classroom. That way you can still do it.
Mr. Dils, I'm doing it along with you, and I didn't have any green construction paper, but I had white paper and a green marker. So I'm going to just improvise a little bit.
There you go. Yeah, I did green, but as we talked about yesterday, we don't know what colors dinosaurs were, so you kind of get to pick whatever color you want. Maybe you want to be a purple dinosaur. Oh, so once I have my tail going, so I kind of have my tail connected here, I have my head, okay? I would try and figure out what types of spikes do I want, okay? So some of you might just want circles. which is fine. You could have circles just along your tail, and you would just cut out and glue a circle. If you want sort of a spike, that just depends on the size that you want. So I'll show you how to make a bigger spike. So to make a bigger spike, you want to fold your paper like a hamburger. I've always called this hamburger folding. I don't know if they still call it that, but like a hamburger, or like you're making a book, okay? And what you will do is you will take a pair of scissors and you'll just cut along the crease where we folded it. You'll just cut a triangle, and however big you make that triangle is how big your spike's going to be. So you could have big, ferocious spikes or a bunch of little small ones. Okay? So then you have, when you open it up, it should look like that. And there's two ways you can do it now. You can then have a spike kind of like the Ankylosaurus has, where they're just kind of glued down like that. I did that on one of them that I've tried. Or if you want more of that 3D spike, what you would do is you would put some glue down on that crease. So see where there's this crease, or you might put some glue on it. Press it where you want it on your dinosaur tail. And
Mr. Dils,
then,
I think I'm going to be like some of our friends where I'm going to have to work a little bit more on it this afternoon.
yes, and that's totally fine.
Good,
And that's
okay.
I made a link on that Google virtual classroom, which I'll show you all where it's at here. Because as you're making it, like I said, it takes quite a while to do, but I wanted to let you guys know what it might look like at the end, just so you kind of have an idea on what you're going for. So then what I did is I glued the points of the triangle together and put a paper clip on it. And the reason I did that is so they stay together while it's drying. Now when it's all dry, you can take the paper clip off and you can't even tell it was there. But it stays held there, okay? All right, so, and like I said, you can design it any way you want. You could have circles, you could have triangles. Maybe you're gonna design a new spike, who knows? But, ooh, look at Lori's, yeah.
See, now I made mine fat because I was thinking of a T-Rex, and then I have my, there, and then I still have to do this part, but my ponytail's in the way, but I want to put some spikes on it. Right now it looks like a feather. I don't know. I
like it. No, it's a good start. We're gonna go back to the main room here, and we'll kind of wrap things up.
Great. Yes, and we would like to invite all of our friends to make sure and have a parent take a picture of you with your dinosaur tail and share it on our Facebook. We'd love to see. Oh my gosh, Mr. Dils, your tail is so long.
It's a bit longer. It could be longer probably, but just so you guys know, like we talked about, this is the front of it. And so when I put it on, this kind of got a big head. But then it would flow down the back, and it looks like I have spikes.
Oh, I love it.
So you can make it super, super long. You can make it super short. You get to be a dinosaur for today. But I'm going to show you how to find it on the virtual classroom, because that's super important, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. So I'm going to go, remember, once you're on the virtual classroom, you want to hit present. It's going to turn it into like kind of a website for you all to click on. Okay, so we're going to click on this door. We're going to go past this room. We're going to go past this room. Remember, this room has a bunch of videos you can watch. And we're gonna stop here because this is where it's at. So if you click on Mr. Dils here, it's gonna take you to a virtual dino dig. So like a game that you can do that's going to allow you to dig up some dinosaur bones. If you click on dinosaur bones, it's gonna teach you how to make your own dinosaur fossil dig, kind of like what we do every day with our sand or whatnot. It's gonna teach you how to do that. But if you click on this Bright Lights logo, it's gonna take you to a website that's going to show you how to make that dinosaur tail. Okay, and see they use tape, it looks like on their side, so you can also do that. But it's gonna walk you through how to cut it, where to tape it, and stuff like that. So with an adult, you could probably easily make your own dinosaur tail. All right, so before we wrap up today, I do have one joke because we've learned a lot. We've learned what do we call animals that lay eggs, which is that oviparous. We learned about predator. We've learned about prey. Our daily dino was that Tyrannosaurus Rex. We learned how to make our own dinosaur eggs and how to make our own dinosaur tail so we can become a dinosaur. So before I say goodbye, I got a joke. You know, I like a good joke here. Okay.
I love a good joke.
All right. So what does a triceratops sit on? So you can put your answers in the chat. What does a triceratops sit on? What does a triceratops sit on? Ooh, tri-stool? That's a good guess. I like that answer. Give our friends a little bit of time to answer.
I'm gonna throw my guess in. Maybe his tricerabottom.
Okay. Ooh, a tree. His bottoms. All right. So the answer is, what does a triceratops sit on? It's tricerabottom. So Miss Lori, woo! You nailed it. It's tricerabottom because the name is triceratops. So it would sit on its bottom.
Mr. Dils, I never get those right. I'm so excited. I'm gonna tell that joke to some friends today.
Oh, I bet you'd be the coolest person on the block with that joke.
I think so.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Dils. Boys and girls, I am putting a plea out there right now. You must come with a joke tomorrow. I do not know if I can do another Mr. Dils joke. So come on, Google a joke about dinosaurs. Bring it with you tomorrow. I'm just teasing Mr. Dils. He's funny. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you learned something. I know that you did. And make sure you go to our website so you can check out Mr. Dils' virtual classroom. And you can get the link and the information to make that cool tail. And we will be back here again tomorrow at 10 o'clock for our last day. I can't believe it. Our last day of Digging Up Dinos. So we will see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you, Mr. Dils and Miss Lori. And we will see everybody back here tomorrow.